Aibowan, Vanakkam, Assalamu Alaikum, good morning. Honorable Chris Steele, Minister for Multicultural Affairs, amongst other very important portfolios, members of the Legislative Assembly, Mr. Simon Merrifield, First Assistant Secretary, Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, and our dear friends from the DFAT, Mr. Mike Ferguson, University of Canberra, Ms. Jo Asquith, University of Canberra College, thank you both for your generous sponsorship. Representatives of the Sri Lanka Associations in Canberra, Sanjeeva Jayathilaka, Manager, Sri Lankan Airlines, our very own Lal Vikramatunga, Consul General, Sydney. Thank you, Lal, for having made the 3-hour journey. We appreciate it. Very distinguished guests. On behalf of my colleagues and members of the Sri Lanka High Commission in Australia, I wish to extend a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. And I thank you sincerely for finding the time to be with us today. As the Deputy High Commissioner mentioned, today is the third occasion on which we have conducted the Sri Lanka Festival. And in cricketing parlance, you might coin it as a hat trick. But it has been made possible for the commitment and the support we have had from the Sri Lankan community here. It has been very warm and very enthusiastic from the time we initiated this whole concept in 2016. And speaking for myself, I've been extremely fortunate in the people I have had the privilege to work with at the High Commission, because no one knows better than what it takes to organize and conduct an event of this nature than I do. And nobody has contributed less to it than I have. So I wish to express my very deep gratitude and thanks to the Deputy High Commissioner, the Minister Himalaya Tilaka, the Minister Chandana Veerasena, Minister Aravind De Silva, and all other members of my staff for their continuing commitment to the well-being of the mission and to uphold the image of our beautiful country. It was only last year, ladies and gentlemen, as I stood at this same podium, at the same function, I reflected on the nature of our 70th anniversary of diplomatic ties with Australia. I reflected on the very high-powered reciprocal visits that took place, starting with our Prime Minister arriving here in February, followed by His Excellency our President, reciprocated through the visit of the Honourable Julie Bishop, and finally the former Prime Minister, Malcolm Turnbull. And it was just not the visits alone, but it was the meaningful agreements that were signed during those visits, which I'm happy to say in 2018 have been given effect to. Our bilateral relations and diplomatic relations could not have been stronger. And Mr. Merrifield, Simon, I'd like to, on behalf of my colleagues, thank you and your wonderful staff once again for the manner in which we have engaged with you and the wonderful support we have had over the years. Now we look into 2019, and the first event that we will all focus on is obviously that cricket match between Australia and Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka has had the special privilege of initiating Test cricket and international cricket at 2 other venues of Australia. The first was in Hobart for Test cricket, and then during a World Series in Darwin for international cricket, where we played the first ever one-day international there. And so on the 1st of February next year, we will have that special privilege of associating ourselves with the ACT government and ACT cricket, and Cricket Australia, of course, to initiate the first ever Test match at the Manuka Oval. And I would urge each and every one of you to find time to come and witness that match at some point during the 1st or the 5th of February. In that regard, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the chairman of ACT Cricket, John Miller, and the president of the Lord Taverners Club, which has the prestigious patronage of His Excellency the Governor General, President Rick Smith. And thank you both for finding the time to be with us today. And I'm sure we'll see a lot of each other in the months ahead. So ladies and gentlemen, my colleague Himali Anutilaka and Minister Chandana Veerasen and I will probably be associated with this wonderful event for the last time, because we finish our tenures here and move on for whatever may be in store for us in the times ahead. And we will and if somebody were to ask me, what is it that you would be taking back with you as the most precious values that you will hold dear to your heart? And I can tell you that having been in this great country of Australia, I've come to realize what it actually takes to make a country really great. And to me, it is multicultural harmony, mutual respect, accountability, and finally, the inflexible application of the rule of law, where no one is ever above it. Thank you for those wonderful lessons, Australia, and thank you for your warm friendship, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.